This is ABC15 Mornings.
It is now day 3 of getting mixed messages from the White House on the president's health. President Trump speaking to the American people last night, posting an update on his Twitter account.
It made national headlines, and now Phoenix Rising getting the silent treatment from their fans during Saturday's game after a player is accused of using a homophobic slur during their last match. How the organization is now responding.
And helping kids go places here in Arizona, advanced technology now being taught to kids as young as 5 years old. More on these pint-sized programmers coming up later this hour. And with that, we want to say good morning to you all. It is 6 o'clock on your Sunday morning. I'm Mark Thompson.
And I'm the other Thompson. I'm Megan Thompson, joining Mark this morning. Happy to do so, and happy to be the messenger about some cooler temps in the morning hours. So you got to get outside and enjoy it now before we warm up. Mark, unfortunately, we are going to warm up. Surprise, surprise.
I know.
You know, the Valley of the Sun is continuing to deliver it our way, despite the fact that we are in October. They don't know about the calendar, apparently, at all. So right now here in the Valley, as we start to see that sunrise coming up, the pink and purple skies right now in the Valley, 73 degrees in Phoenix, 72 degrees for you in Mesa. We're in the 60s in the West Valley there, 66 in Glendale, and 65 in Goodyear. Good morning to you. For your Valley planner, we'll warm up gradually, so that's the good news. We'll stay in the 70s through a good chunk in the morning, in the 80s. By noon, we're at 96 degrees, so we won't get into the triple digits until early afternoon. 104 is your forecasted high today before we drop into the 90s right around 8 p.m. For your 4-day forecast, we're still tracking some record-breaking or record-tying temperatures today and then tomorrow. The record 103, so it looks like we'll beat it today. Come tomorrow, we may tie it. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, you start to see our temperatures gradually trending downward. We have a low-pressure system moving into our forecast, helping us a little bit to get back down where we should be for this time of year. The morning's still looking great, though, so I'll walk you through that 7-day forecast when exactly that relief is coming up.
Thank you. And for those who are hitting the road early this morning, we've got a traffic alert for you. A fiery crash has closed the Loop 202 eastbound at Gilbert Road. All eastbound lanes are forced to exit at Gilbert Road, and then alternative routes include exiting at Country Club and then taking McKillips Road. We'll keep you updated as we learn more about this accident. Now, of course, our top story this morning continues to develop. We are taking a live look now at Walter Reed Medical Center, where the president is waking up as he works to recover from coronavirus. The White House physician saying that he is cautiously optimistic about the president's health, but adding he is not out of the woods yet. Meanwhile, a growing number of the president's aides have tested positive. Elizabeth Schulze is in Washington with the very latest.
After a day of mixed messages on his health, President Trump spoke directly to the American people from the hospital in a video posted on Twitter last night.
I came here, wasn't feeling so well. You don't know over the next period of a few days. I guess that's the real test. So we'll be seeing what happens over those next couple of days.
A senior White House official told reporters yesterday the next 48 hours will be critical for the president as he battles COVID-19, calling into question what the president's physician said earlier in the day.
This morning, the president is doing very well. The president's been fever-free for over 24 hours. We remain cautiously optimistic, but he's doing great.
The White House physician repeating in a memo last night the team is cautiously optimistic on the president's health, but adding he's not yet out of the woods. The physician declining to say if the president had ever received supplemental oxygen.
Has he ever been on supplemental oxygen?
Right now, he is not on oxygen.
But sources telling ABC News President Trump did receive supplemental oxygen on Friday at the White House when he was having trouble breathing.
We were real concerned with that. You know, he had a fever and his blood oxygen level had dropped rapidly.
Amid the confusion over the president's condition, a growing number of people in his orbit now testing positive for the virus. The president's personal assistant and body man Nick Luna among them, seen here boarding Air Force One without a mask next to top aide Hope Hicks Wednesday. Former New Jersey governor and ABC News contributor Chris Christie also testing positive. Tweeting last night he checked himself into a hospital as a precautionary measure and is experiencing mild symptoms. He's one of at least 8 people infected with the virus who attended a ceremony for Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett last Saturday. Few were wearing masks at the crowded event. On the campaign trail Saturday, former Vice President Joe Biden reiterating the importance of masks, but not attacking the president directly.
I don't want to be attacking the president and the first lady now, and Jill and I pray for their quick and full recovery.
The Biden campaign will be moving forward with in-person events. The campaign says the former vice president will be tested regularly for coronavirus and will release all of his results. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
And as part of President Trump's treatment, he did receive an experimental cocktail of lab-generated antibodies from the pharmaceutical company Regeneron. This treatment is not available to the general public right now, but they are being tested through a clinical trial right here in the Valley. Back in July, we told you about the antibody clinical trial by the company Regeneron. The purpose of the antibody test is to reduce symptoms and keep COVID-19 patients out of the hospital. Since then, over 100 patients in Arizona have had access to the same remedy given to the president. The drug is not approved by the FDA, but the director of Arizona's clinical trials says that data collected so far is proving the drug is effective and is being called a cocktail because of the way that it attacks the virus.
What it means is that they've generated more than one antibody to the coronavirus.
One of the patients tells us that she wasn't told whether her antibody infusion was a placebo or not, but either way, she is feeling better and is glad to be paving the way to a solution to COVID-19.
Now let's get to those latest coronavirus numbers as the total number of cases in the United States passes 7.3 million this morning. That's according to the Center for Systems Science and Engineering at Johns Hopkins University. The death toll nationwide now over 209,000. California reporting over 800,000 cases. Texas and Florida both well over 700,000 cases, followed by New York with more than 460,000 cases. By far, the United States remains the world's most hit nation, with the most cases and deaths accounting for more than 1/5 of the global statistics. The next big worry now is winter. In most parts of the country, cases have gone down, so that's good news, but people are being less careful. Also, people will be inside together more often with those cooler temperatures. And lastly, there's the threat of an overlap of two respiratory-borne diseases, the flu and COVID-19. All the more reason experts are doubling down on wearing masks and social distancing until there's a safe vaccine. A recent projection showed if 95% of Americans wore masks in public, about 100,000 lives could be saved by January 1st. In our state, the Arizona Health Department reporting 636 new cases yesterday, pushing the total number of confirmed cases past 220,000. The percentage of tests coming back positive is at 6%. Meantime, the state reporting 12 more deaths from the virus, bringing the total number of lives lost in our state to more than 5,700.
Now to some local headlines this morning. One man is in the hospital after being hit by a car overnight. The 59-year-old bicyclist was in the area of McClintock and Hermosa when he was reportedly hit. The vehicle described as a black passenger car with a missing mirror. It took off. Now, if you have any information, you are urged to call police. And police releasing a video that they say shows a man starting a fire outside of a Phoenix church. This happened Tuesday near Cactus Road and 23rd Avenue. The newly released surveillance video shows the man lighting some bushes outside that building on fire. Police are asking anyone with information to give them a call.
Police say a former MLB pitcher was found dead at the Grand Canyon. Investigators believe he shot and killed his ex-girlfriend, who has now been identified as Danielle Breed. The shooting happening Friday near Hayden Road and McCormick Parkway. Police say Breed's roommate heard gunshots when she got home, and that moments later, 37-year-old Charles Hager left the victim's room with a handgun, pointed it at the roommate, then took off. Hager's car was found near Flagstaff yesterday. His body was later found along a trail at the south rim of the Grand Canyon. At this time, police do believe he took his own life, but the investigation is ongoing.
And new this morning, a Good Samaritan helps Cottonwood police arrest a hit-and-run suspect. Officials tell us that they were able to track down Brandon McKinnon's On Friday night, after a Good Samaritan pinned him down, he was wanted for his involvement in a hit-and-run investigation after he hit a bicyclist and then fled earlier this week. McKinnon's was arrested and booked. Arizona's professional soccer team Phoenix Rising is at the center of a national controversy, and it has been so for the past couple of days after a player was accused of using a homophobic slur towards an openly gay player. Last night, they returned home to fans who were silent the entire first half in protest. Many fans wearing pride colors in support of the LGBTQ community. On Wednesday, Phoenix Rising player Junior Flemings, accused of using that slur towards San Diego Loyal player Colin Martin. Flemings denies saying it. He and the coach, Rick Shantz, they have been placed on administrative leave before last night's game. Now the team's general manager, he has now issued an apology.
We apologize as an organization, and I think that's really important to know that our core values are important to us, our mission as an organization, and we never want to hurt anyone.
The incident is still under investigation. Rising beat LA Galaxy 4-1.
6:11 now on your Sunday morning. Good morning. I'm Megan Thompson, tracking your most accurate forecast. A beautiful start to the day. Parts of the valley waking up in the 60s and 70s. And as we look statewide, we're at some freezing marks to the northern portions of our state, like Flagstaff, the Grand Canyon, Window Rock as well, Heber. Along the rim right now, 57 in Payson, 66 in Globe, and 66 in Safford. To the west, we're in the upper 60s and 70s, and 54 in Kingman at this hour. Your 4-day forecast for Flagstaff in the area. No, today we're going to have a hazy morning before that starts to clear and reveal some sunshine. 81 degrees for you there. Lows in the 30s continue through that 4-day forecast. Your temperatures remain in the 80s before we start to drop off a little bit on Wednesday. As for the valley today, we are 10 degrees above average, 11 degrees actually. 104 is the forecasted high today. The average 93. So it looks like, along with being above average, we're going to likely break a record today of 103 set back in 1993 with our forecasted high. And the record-breaking trend may continue tomorrow before we finally see some relief. I'll talk about your 7-day forecast coming up.
And just like that, the Cardinals are back at it again today. It's game day. Arizona taking on the Carolina Panthers today, hoping to redeem themselves after last week's tough loss to the Detroit Lions. The Panthers taking the field without their star running back, Christian McCaffrey, who is on injured reserve. And when it comes to the Cards, DeAndre Hopkins, if he plays or not, that is a game-time decision. Hopkins, however, did tweet this out yesterday, giving fans some hope. The star receiver suffered an ankle injury last week and is marked questionable for today's matchup. Kickoff is at 10 a.m. And tonight, the Los Angeles Lakers and Miami Heat facing off in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. LA leads that series 2-0. Tip-off is at 4:30 right here on ABC 15. Well, coming up, the national cry for criminal justice reform continues here in the Valley and across the country. Also, the president missing his visit to Arizona tomorrow. However, our state still expecting a busy week with a number of campaign events. We'll look at the week ahead in politics coming up. Welcome back, everybody. Black Lives Matter protesters gathering outside Phoenix City Hall last night, calling to abolish the system they say is responsible for the police-caused deaths of Breonna Taylor, Deion Johnson, and so many other people of color here in Arizona and across the country. United in passion and pain, the families of Jacob Blake and Breonna Taylor holding a Chicago justice rally yesterday, joining so many in a national cry for criminal justice reform. Civil rights leader Jesse Jackson speaking at a press conference there, urging people to use their voting power to help bring justice for both families. And in Portland, more protesters and some arrests last night as a group of 100 marched the streets wearing helmets, gas masks, shields, and body armor. The activists meeting in front of a building that houses Portland's specialty units and the sheriff's office. Local police warned that anyone trespassing on that property would be taken into custody. No injuries were reported.
Let's turn now to that most accurate forecast for you as you wrap up the weekend. You want to take advantage of today and the early morning hours because the valley waking up to much cooler temperatures today as we have been the last few days. We're in the 60s in many parts of the valley and the low 70s. 68 in Apache Junction right now, 67 in Santan Valley, 67 also in Ahwatukee. We're at 65 in Deer Valley and 70 degrees right now in Goodyear. So just gorgeous. So if you're going to have some coffee, maybe some hot coffee on the patio, it'll feel really nice outside. As we continue, it will stay in the 70s for a good chunk of the morning through 8 a.m. By 9 a.m. we'll get to about 81 degrees. So a gradual warm up for us, which is the good news. So you can enjoy your time outside. Maybe take the dog for a walk this morning. So it'll be good in the early morning hours until about 10 a.m. By 11 a.m. though, I'm going to say have caution there with their paws because we will warm to 90 degrees by 11 a.m. And then of course those triple digits are going to come our way. When sun starts to set right around 6:09 tonight, it'll get a little bit better, but our temperatures will still be warm, but the pavement will be cooler for their feet. For your valley planner, exactly how those temperatures line up, here's what we're expecting by that noon hour, 96 degrees. So we'll stay away from the triple digits until about 2 p.m., 101 around then before we warm to 104. That's our forecasted high today, expecting to hit that right around 3 or 4 o'clock. So with that high temperature, the record heat continues today just like yesterday. So the record is 103 set back in 1993, and it looks like we're going to create a new record here in 2020. Then on Monday, the record is 104. We're looking to forecast at 104. So we may at least tie that record. We don't want to beat any more records. We are done with that. Now here's why as I take you through Futurecast. This ridge of high pressure has been sitting over the western portions of the United States, raising our temperatures, elevating our temperatures about 10 degrees or more above average for this time of year. But this low pressure system is going to help us out a little bit over the next couple of days, dropping our temperatures as it moves closer to us. Now, normally in October, we should be around 94 degrees. So obviously, we're nowhere near that. So we're looking towards October 31st when our temperatures on average is around 83 degrees. We'll get there eventually. What we can expect is some cooler air moving into our region right around October 10th, hopefully giving us the last triple digits that we are going to see. Stay tuned. Those are long range models that we are looking at to see if that actually happens. Here's the forecasted highs statewide today. 90 in Winslow, 85 along the rim there in Payson, 93 in Sedona, 106 in Gila Bend. To the west, we're in the triple digits, very similar to the valley, 83 at the Grand Canyon and 95 in Safford. Some cooler mornings ahead still tomorrow, so despite those temperatures, enjoy the mornings. We'll be at freezing points there in Window Rock, Flagstaff, and the Grand Canyon, 50 degrees in Prescott and 61 to Globe, 57 in Safford. For your 7-day forecast, I'll show you when that relief finally comes our way. So come Tuesday, we'll start to see our temperatures trending downward as that low pressure system comes to save the day. So our temperatures will drop to 101 on Thursday. Friday, we do hopefully dip below those triple digits at 99 degrees, 97 on Saturday, the 70s, low 70s. Stick around for those early morning hours.
All right, some hope ahead, Megan. Thank you so much. Well, to your voice, your vote now. The president, he won't be visiting Arizona tomorrow after testing positive for the coronavirus. But Vice President Mike Pence, he will be here campaigning next week. The Trump campaign announcing that he will host a Make America Great Again event on Thursday in Peoria. Now, that's the same day that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are scheduled to make a campaign stop in the Valley. It's not clear where they will be visiting just yet. Dr. Jill Biden making a stop in Minnesota this weekend, touring Black-owned businesses in the Twin Cities while highlighting the campaign's plans to help small businesses. She also stopped to see volunteers who are providing meals to families impacted by the pandemic. Dr. Biden's visit comes as the Trump campaign has shut down many activities due to the president's diagnosis. However, both Joe and Jill Biden tested negative for COVID-19 on Friday. While the presidential debate is still up in the air, the vice presidential candidates, they have committed to their debate on Wednesday. CNN reporting that they will be spaced 12 feet apart after concerns from the Biden campaign that they would only be separated by 7 feet. Early ballots, they go out this Wednesday, and do not forget, you have just 1 day left to register to vote for the November election. Now, if you haven't done so already, or you want to update or check your registration status, head to your county's election website or go to arizona.vote. And if you still need to register, there is a chance. There is a pop-up registration event at the locations that you see right there on your screen. The drive-through event will be running at the Salvadorian restaurant from 11 until 4 and the Puerto Rico Latin Bar and Grill from 3 until 7 o'clock. Well, coming up, teaching kids coding in kindergarten. It might sound a little bit extreme, but these tech classes are helping Arizona kids go places. We'll have details up next.
Welcome back to ABC 15 Mornings. Well, you know it, we all live in a technology-driven world. Now, even kindergartners are learning coding. And as ABC 15 Morning anchor Kaylee O'Kelly shows us, that's going to help them go places in the future.
At the Edison School of Innovation, the kids have their heads in the clouds. Or at least, the cloud.
This is like what school is like now. I can't hear you. Everybody's frozen.
CHERYL Rose is the principal at Edison, and these are some of the members of the school's robotics club. They design and build their own creations.
I really wanted to build him and see if I could actually, like with my brain and programming, like if I could actually take that character from the game and build it to life.
Bringing them to life is the important part of the learning process.
We start teaching them about coding in kindergarten. It's part of our science curriculum.
Kindergarten coders writing the programs that tell the robots what to do.
It is a different world than what adults are used to, but for the kids, it's what they are accustomed to.
There are bigger lessons to be had as well.
It really helps the students thinking about sequencing, cause and effect, critical thinking.
These pint-sized programmers are up to the robotic challenge.
I've actually never built one before, but I've done coding before. And it's like, if I could build a new robot, making something new, I could do some cool stuff.
They're writing their own future in cyberspace.
Robots are the future.
Kaylee O'Kelly, ABC 15, Arizona.
Thank you, Kaylee. What a great story. And for their efforts helping kids go places, the Edison School of Innovation's Robotics Club is getting a $500 gift card from our Valley Toyota dealers. That money will help pay for robotics kits for each child to have at home. Well, still ahead at 6:30 here on ABC 15 Mornings, the White House doctor says President Trump is doing very well. But what happens if he cannot continue to work from the hospital? An expert explains the transfer of power. Plus, a number of congresswomen are questioning Twitter after the social media company takes action against hateful speech directed at President Trump.